Kyubi is the first in the chat. How you doing tonight? Sleep Stories is there as well. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. It really is a thing. It's such a thing. Hope everybody's doing well tonight. Testing, 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 testing. Chris 621 just got done with a band concert. Do you mean you? Were you playing, Chris? That would be awesome. Physical therapy was weird. You got to tell us about the physical therapy. That's for the ankle, right? I'm very curious about what sort of strengthening or balance exercises they had you doing. Chris was playing tenor sax. Very good, very good. I hope you guys killed it. Hope everybody's doing awesome tonight. It's Tuesday night. We're almost halfway through. Almost halfway through. LK is in the stream. Never caught the streams before. I am glad to have you here, LK. Please make yourself comfortable. Please talk to the other folks. Everybody say hello to LK. Adam Sisk has missed the last few, so please make him feel welcome. And do try to do that a little bit as we go on through the night. Make those people feel welcome as they come in the room, okay? Because that's what we try to be about here. Hope everybody's doing awesome. Catching the streams. Yeah, surfing is one thing I absolutely know nothing about. But that is all good. How you been, Sleep Stories? I know you've got a video up that I haven't seen yet. Hoping to catch it this week. You neither, yeah. You know, it just goes in phases for me. You know, my ability to I don't know, catch what other creators are doing sometimes. Sometimes I'll go for days and it's just the way work goes and the way home goes, and I'm just not able to catch anything. Then I'm able to catch a few things. It it's one thing after another. Marbles, you did marbles in the video? That is super cool. I gotta check that out. Starting with stretches, Kyubi, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, you gotta take those baby steps with those ankle injuries. You gotta watch it. I'm really digging how this new webcam actually has a depth of field effect, as if you're shooting taking pictures with a really wide aperture, I like how the microphone is in focus, but then I'm kind of behind the mic and my shirt kind of goes out of focus. That's a wicked cool effect. I dig it. Colt's in the house. Hello, Colt. Welcome. How you doing? How was everybody's weekend? What did I do this weekend? I can never tell whether it's a good sign or a bad sign that I have to work a little while to reconstruct my weekend. Is that bad? That might be bad. we're leaving Sunday for traveling, and so I know this weekend we were really starting to feel the impending trip, and it's like it gets a little more serious when you're 1 week out, and so we're starting to really think about, hey, we got to get serious about getting ready to pack and all that kind of stuff. And then, of course, W. Isla is in the chat. Hello there. Hello there. Welcome. How are we liking the October fall weather where we live? That is an outstanding question because, of course, depending on where you live, fall, takes its sweet time to kind of sweep through the hemisphere. I'm going to say, oh, thanks for that, Isla. I appreciate that. So, Adam, I'm going to say that we really haven't hit fall where I live yet. Still plenty of green on the trees, and we had some nice temperatures maybe a week and a half ago, but then it jumped up again, and I think it was almost 90 today. So it's like, no, we're not quite there yet. I get a feeling it's going to be one of those cheater seasons, where, I'm going to get like a week and a half of awesome temperatures and colors, and then it's just all going to go downhill from there. One of the bridges that you showed was the opening screen for my computer today, Summer Music. Oh, that looked a lot like it. Okay, so you're saying one of your computer's canned wallpapers was a covered bridge? That's pretty cool. I thought maybe you were saying you screen captured one of the bridges from the video. And that would be very cool. Yeah, I'm hoping we're going to be down in Kentucky next week at the Red River Gorge. And of course, so I start putting my ulterior motive list together. So this will be the first, I didn't have the gimbal last fall. I didn't have the little shock isolator for the H2 last fall. So I'm really looking to shoot a part of a trail, kind of a trail walk to one of the arches down there. Most looking forward to, well, this will be several years running that we've gone down to the gorge. And the thing about the gorge, the main thing about the gorge are the arches. The arches are the main kind of geographical feature down there. And you've got the property map for the gorge has all of the marked, maintained trails, and a selection of marked, identified arches, the ones that they put on the maps, and the ones that all the casual hikers visit, who are just tourists, and they're coming through the gorge. And now that we've been there a few falls in a row, we've kind of been to all those arches. And so now, you start looking at websites and you start reading, hiking forums and stuff to understand what some of the less traveled features are that are on some of the unmarked trails. So each subsequent trip turns into a part of the hikes we're revisiting our favorites from previous years, and then part of the hikes we're figuring out new places to go. So what I'm always looking forward to is just what sort of new places we might see that we haven't seen before. Plus, being able to just get away and I just find that part of the country very centering, I guess. It's like going through my brain with a sponge somehow, or a sieve, and just kind of getting all the bad stuff out for a week, and just kind of recentering, refocusing, recharging, rejuvenating. Let's see. Let me catch up here. Ginger Kitty ASMR is in the chat. Hello, Ginger Kitty. Good to see you. Does that spongy thing on the mic keep the high-pitched squeaky noises from happening? I'm having some sort of feedback when recording close to my mic. Ginger Kitty, are you using earbuds when you record? And are those earbuds turned up very loud? If your answer is yes to both of those questions, it's your loud earbuds that are causing the feedback problems, and you need to turn those down. Exploring with ASMR is here. And McHappyFan is here. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Not using earbuds. Rowan Higgs is in the room. Because the only thing that would cause feedback, actual acoustic feedback, is if there was some small speaker playing the thing that the microphone was hearing and playing that out into the air where the microphone could pick it up again. And that's the loop, right? Decaf Math, Shay Nova, my goodness. Hello, everybody. No, Jared, this is not my usual setup. I'm back in the other room, but I've got my wife's laptop here to my right, and I've got the new webcam working. And I've got the push to mute going on, and so it's the setup from last week, but I've moved it into the normal room. Our Dizzle, hey everybody. Please, if any of you guys see any creators in the chat that you're not familiar with, I encourage you to go check out their channels. And if you like what you see, I encourage you to subscribe. Simple setup, but still classy. I appreciate that. W. Isla. Hey, Shay Nova. Kind of tempted to reconvert this channel back on an ASMR. Only problem is I use it for class-related things. I'm trying to remember, Rowan, if I checked that channel out before. I remember you talking about it, but now I can't remember. Whoa, it's 4 a.m. where McHappyFan is. Now that is too early, my friend. Does anybody know what this is that I've been playing with for the last few minutes? Few minutes. Yeah, it's 10 p.m. here as well. Primate Boogaloo in London. Says hello. Salt, that is actually an excellent guess. You're right, because this does look like looks like coarse, like sea salt type stuff, right? But no, it is not salt. These are Adam, are you asking if I have ever been to Brazil? I have not been to the country of Brazil. Rowan Higgs has seen the marbles video. I've got to check out that marbles video. These are little plastic beads. Plastic beads. They played a small role in the video I shot this morning. I'm going to go back in the chat and see what, see what Ginger Kitty said about. It's usually when recording rain sounds or crinkles close to the mic. I don't know. Sound artifacts are very hard to describe, and if you could record a sample and like put it up as an unlisted video, and like send me and Jared and some other people the link. We could take a crack at trying to troubleshoot what the sound issues are. Sometimes it's really obvious if you just hear the sound. So these are little plastic beads, and they are made for a very specific purpose. These plastic beads are what is known as, well, hey, no problem, Ginger Kitty. We're all newbies in a sense, and we're all learning. We're all on different paths, learning different things. So, it's not supposed to be a contest, and there shouldn't be an entrance threshold in terms of knowledge. So, anything we can share to make your path a little easier and more enjoyable, we're obliged to do that, I feel. It's the least we can do. I was just in the middle of my sentence when I was going to describe these beads when I started answering Ginger Kitty. So those of you who actually want to know what these are very annoyed at me and my tangents right now. You're welcome, Isla. Oh, thank you so much. See, now I'm interacting with the chat again, and the mystery of the plastic beads is still before us. The plastic beads. These are called filler. And these are used Sleep Stories is dying to know about the beads, and now I'm talking about how Sleep Stories is dying to know about the beads rather than actually talking about the beads, because I'm infuriating. I am absolutely infuriating right now. And Sleep Stories is trying to invent a device where she can reach through the chat and strangle me, which is the fate I deserve for being infuriating. But at least I'm infuriating in a calming voice and even manner. Oh, sorry. So, for the third time, these are called filler, and they're used in rotary rock polishing machines or rock tumblers. I did a video this morning about polished stones, where we sort a pile of polished rocks by color. But before I got to the rocks, I looked at some supplies that I had left over from a refill kit that I got in the early 70s when I was a kid. And you put these beads in both to cushion the rocks from each other a little bit, and also they help carry the grit, whatever grit you're using in that stage, the coarse or the medium or the fine, helps distribute the grit to all of the surfaces of the rocks. That's what these are. And they make a nice sound. So that's good for everybody. Yeah, I was really wanting to get back to another. I talked a little bit in the paper and scissors video about the luxury of letting your brain just do one thing at a time, for a period of time. Thanks, Ginger Kitty, for being here. If you still have trouble, like I said, put an unlisted video together and we'll get some people together on that, okay? And so I wanted to revisit that concept, and so I wanted to do something really kind of focused and simple. And sorting is, for me, one of those, maybe you guys feel the same. There's something about sorting, and you get to pick the scheme, right? Is it going to be size or color or texture? I remember sitting on the floor, the crayons that I had when I was a kid. I had them in a big family-size Kentucky Fried Chicken bucket. All of my crayons were in this bucket, and the crayons were, I didn't have any whole, complete, new crayons. I had this bucket of, hey, thanks, W. Isla, for coming by. You're very welcome. Thanks for being here. It was a bucket full of broken, worn, crayons. And, they had been in the bucket for so long that if you ever took them out of the bucket and then looked at the bucket, all of the sides, the inside surface of the bucket was all marked up with all the different crayons that had been jostled around in there for so many years. And I remember sitting on the floor sometimes, every once in a while, almost as if, it was time for a palate cleansing experience. Hey, Cold Hunter. Everybody say hi to Cold Hunter. Welcome. And it's like when I was in need of some sort of a palate cleansing, centering experience, I'd get that bucket out and I'd get on the floor. And, oh, McHappy fan is not feeling well. I hope you feel better soon. And I'd start sorting those crayons, usually by color. And I don't know, just being able to focus on those little pieces, kind of building a rainbow of crayons as you went through the color spectrum from blue to red and everything in between, and then playing the game with the yellow green or the green yellow, because they are different colors, but which word in the color is the predominant, and I can't remember now. Is the yellow green crayon more yellow or more green? I can't remember whether the first color in the name is the dominant color or the less dominant color. And you'd sort all those things out, and you'd go through the burnt siennas and the burnt umbers. All those crazy colors. Sorry, that's a bit tangential, but that's what I was trying to replicate this morning with the polished stone video. It should be up tomorrow evening, and I hope you guys dig it. And if I can get motivated and do another one on Thursday, I'll have that upload while I'm gone next week. I love seeing all you guys in the chat. That is super awesome. You guys are doing a great job talking to each other. I appreciate that. It helps when I go on my tangent and can't catch all the comments. Decaf Math, if I'm not mistaken, has just joined the Twitter. You guys should go follow her. The Twitter. The Twitter. Oh no. Lost one of the tea bags. Yay, I'm first. Decaf Math and I were playing Hearthstone the other night and found a whole new feature in Hearthstone we didn't even know existed. Shadowed Draken. Welcome to the chat. I hope I didn't mispronounce your name. That's how you can tell we've been paying a lot of attention to Hearthstone lately, because I've had a feature on there since like April we didn't even know about. Lance Sobek is in the chat. First time sitting in during a live stream. Lance, welcome, welcome, welcome. Everybody say hi to Lance. So, Decaf Math admittedly is a little younger than I am, but she has a little bit to learn about manners. Because she just called me out for, being beaten with my own deck, and you just don't do that. That's just not cool. That's cold. And she's calling me out in my own stream. What is up? That's just... Fred. What is the other base you have other than the P base? I have a Spectre 5-string. It's made in the early 90s when Spectre was operating under the Stewart Spectre design badge. So it's an SSD NS5. Yep, that's cold, Gold Hunter. And you know cold when you see it. You know that was cold. Thanks for being in the chat, Fred. Please make yourself comfortable. Samantha James, first time. I'm seeing so many first time names tonight. It's fantastic. Thanks, Fred. I've had a request to do a video where I actually play some stuff, and I think that would be a good candidate for my junk drawer playlist, but I just have not gotten around to it yet. Little bit self-conscious, I'll admit. The notion of, Good night, Shay Nova. Everybody check out Shay Nova's channel if you get a chance. What is your favorite animal? What is my favorite animal? I'm murdering this box. My goodness. Shadowed. Don't catch ASMR streams often. Plus, I think I found this channel more recently. Well, either way, it's a pleasure to have you here, and I appreciate that comment. So, Adam, I don't have a good, fast answer for the favorite animal question. Perhaps I should. You will find, actually, that my tastes and opinions on things tend to run so broad that you'll find that I don't have a lot of favorites of much of anything, like colors and foods and stuff like that. I like so much stuff. Sometimes my favorite is like the thing I'm enjoying in that moment, because it's the thing that is on the top of my list, because it's the thing that's, activating my senses at that moment. But I'm going to have to think about the animal thing. Fred asks if I ever play with a pick. I don't really. Certainly not with any of the music that I play with my original band. Back when I was doing covers, there were a couple of songs that would kind of really need a pick. I think the song called Wood by Alice in Chains was a pick song. And I think I used to play maybe Twilight Zone by Golden Earring with a pick. Let's see. Aurorize. I hope I'm saying your name right. Welcome to the chat. Everybody say hello to Aurorize. Hey, McHappy fan. Thanks for being here. I hope you feel better soon, okay? Take care of yourself. What animal has a beard? Isn't there a bearded lizard? Bearded dragon, thank you. That's exactly what I was thinking about. We've got Cold Hunter is committing to Adam's question and putting all his chips down on bearded dragons. A new Alice in Chains album came out. Really? Who's singing on that album? Is it somebody we would know? Goats do have beards. That's a good point. Eight out of 10 on the pronunciation. I'm glad about that. I can't argue with an 8 out of 10. I'll take an 80 any day. Thank you. Aurorize. Guitar player sings and they have another singer who's really talented. So are they, on the vocals, are they still doing that, in my view, part of the distinctiveness of Alice in Chains was they did a lot of two-part vocal, harmonies. I'm sure Lane did it himself, but, they did it live too. Really creepy, interesting intervals on the harmonies, right? Is the new singer, doing that same kind of approach or what? Mythological bearded snakes. Trying to think if there are any other songs I needed to play with a pick over the years. Definitely not many. And, since I guess to continue with your question, Fred, I'm basically a self-taught guy, and since I guess the short answer is I feel really, really disconnected from the instrument when I try to play with a pick. So much of my playing is with, it's a relative position kind of a thing. When you anchor with your thumb, or even if you use a floating thumb technique where you kind of carry the thumb with you, which is kind of a technique that, I started using with 5-string. It helps keep the back part of your hand on the lower string so that you don't get your B string to start just kind of resonating when you're not playing it. Either way, though, actually touching the instrument with the hand just couples me with the instrument in a way that I don't get at all when I'm trying to play with a pick. And I feel so, it's very uncomfortable for me, frankly. And I always feel like I'm going to miss the string that I need, or misjudge the distance because I don't have that. I don't have that direct connection that I've been used to for 20 or 30 years. So yeah, I'm not super good at it. But sometimes you need that attack. Sometimes there's something very tonally distinct about a song that was played with a pick, and you can't get it any other way. You say you usually use a pick. Have you always played bass then, Fred, or did you come from guitar, or do you do both? Have you ever lost it and smashed a bass after? Yeah, there was this one time when this other content creator, we were playing what I thought was a pretty good-natured game of Hearthstone, but then, we were just having fun. But then, she borrowed like one of my decks and then beat me to death with it, and then I just, I was just completely tilted. And my bass was like right next to me, and I just beat the hell out of all my computer gear with it. It was a tragic moment. Thanks, Adam. Thanks for being here. Yeah, there was that time. Favorite bass player, man, oh man, all these favorite questions. You guys are putting a hurting on me here. Let's see. That's what you guys ought to do. Is just name bass players, and then I'll tell you an impression of them. Les Claypool, I'm not sure what to say about him. He's definitely a stylist. Definitely got his own unique all that Primus stuff was he blended, and I say that in the past tense. I'm sure he's still out there doing his thing, but you can never decide how to take Les, because on the one hand you could tell that he had a lot of technical chops, but then on the other hand, either intentionally or no, he played with enough kind of crazy slop in the way he approached the bass that you're never quite sure if he's. I mean, his whole approach was tongue in cheek. So I'm sure everything he did was intentional. But like James Jamerson, of course, I've played a few of the classic songs in cover bands that where he would have where he did the original parts. Like Marvin Gaye's "What's Going On," Jamerson did that. Oh man, Cliff, R.I.P. Um, a great player. A real pioneer. I feel for the genre. Um, although I gotta, I have some sympathy for, frankly, any bass player in that genre because there's a perennial problem with getting bass to stand out in the mixes of, those styles of metal. A lot of times they just come across sounding like another guitar, or, I mean, if you can hear them at all. There's tons of, talk about how hard it was to get, oh my gosh, Metallica's second bass player, Jason Newsted. The there's all sorts of mixing stories about And Justice for All, and how Lars was intentionally trying to turn all of Jason parts down and stuff like that. But I'm saying that even without that kind of, somebody working against you like that, it's just hard. It's hard to find space for bass in those kinds of mixes. Even this album I've been listening to a lot lately, from a Canadian power metal band called Release the Archers. They put out a album last year called Apex, and they've got an amazing bass player on that album. And you still had to, you still have to fight to hear those parts. Yeah, I agree. The wah on the bass was cool. He's definitely a legend, no doubt about it. Kyubi, I am drawing a blank on Ryan Martini, and I should probably preface by saying that I don't actively follow a lot of players anymore. I used to, have a subscription to Bass Player when I was a young player and really fired up, and I was really learning about, getting inspired by a lot of players. And I listen to less and less new music as the years go by, and so I'm just not as exposed to players as I used to be. Oh, I've heard of Mudvayne. Okay, so he's the bass player for Mudvayne. John Entwistle and John Paul Jones, of course, of course. You can't go wrong with them, the classics. And then people like Victor Wooten. All his work with Bela Fleck, and he's got a lot of solo work as well. A lot of people, when they think of Victor Wooten, they think of his crazy double thumb slapping technique and stuff like that. But if you ever find, you can also easily find videos of him playing just devastating grooves, like super in the pocket type stuff. Geezer Butler, oh man, fantastic. Yep, that classic Black Sabbath. I Had a few of those albums growing up. Geezer Butler. Covering a lot of stylistic territory with the bass player choices tonight. Geezer Butler started as a guitar player. Hey, it's King Cow. Well, welcome, King Cow. I hope we can knock you out in short order. Well, people land on bass for a lot of different reasons, I suppose. Victor Wooten actually has a very interesting TED Talk, believe it or not. That is definitely worth it's worth a look. I don't know. Aura Rise, is it World Mental Health Day? Leif Erikson Day. I hope we're just not making up days at this point. You guys have been great in the chat tonight. Much needed. Leif Erikson Day is actually a thing. All right. National Seafood Month. Fallen Bass Player Commemoration Day. I do like seafood. Sometimes when you're in a very landlocked part of the country, sometimes you can't always get the best seafood in the restaurants. Hey, Sal. Glad we can help out with the drawing. Hey, and it's hello, Chegasaki. ASMR, how you doing? Good to see you. Hey, Sal, if you're still there, tell us what you're drawing. Love seeing all the different names in the chat. Everybody, stick figures. That's my kind of drawing right there. Gumbo. I love gumbo. Big fan of gumbo. I like making it also, although I haven't made gumbo in a long time. Lucy Smart is in the chat. Hello, hello. Good evening / morning. Yes, please say hello to everybody. Say hello to all the new people in the room. Is anybody here? Laser guns. Excellent. Sal is drawing laser guns. Man, I want to see those laser guns. Deja doing econ homework. Well, good for you for sticking. Pew, 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 pew. Laser gun ASMR. Laser gun triggers. Good for you for staying on that homework, Deja. Keep it up. Yeah, does anybody here cook gumbo? I'm very curious about how you do your roux if you cook it. Personally, I go as dark on that roux as I possibly can. I like a really, really dark roux and gumbo. So Fred, you've never had it, but I want to so bad. So are you in a part of the country, Fred, where you could find, a restaurant that has gumbo? Understood, Kayubi. I appreciate seeing you as always. This is probably going to be an hour, 15-minute stream tonight because I need to probably call it at the top of the hour to get to sleep myself. Oh, plus I have to start rendering. I have to start the render on the polished stone video. Wednesday stream. Yeah. Well, gumbo is gumbo is a stew. It's part of Cajun Creole cuisine. Night, Kayubi. Thanks for coming by. Starfish Savvy, thanks for being here. So gumbo has okra in it. You start off with a roux, which is nothing more than flour and oil. And you turn that up pretty high, and you keep it moving, and the idea is to slowly brown the flour. And the darker you get it, of course, the more of a nutty, coffee-like flavor you get in the roux. And I always it's always a personal challenge to me, I guess, to go as dark as I can with that roux before I put the vegetables in. And then when you hit it with the vegetables, it stops the browning of the roux at that point, and it never really gets any browner. And then it's, the gumbo, okra, green pepper, onion, and then, meats and things up from there. King Cow, no, I've never served in the military, but I work with the military in my job, so. Yeah, gumbo is one of my favorites. And, it's not really a hard thing to make. There's lots of good recipes out there. You get a chicken and sausage gumbo, or you do a shrimp gumbo. I traveled to New Orleans good night, Samantha. Thanks for being here. Not hard to make, but easy to ruin. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. And really, I find that the step of the roux right at the beginning is, the kind of the linchpin of the entire dish. If you get a good roux, that good foundation, then you can build good stuff on top of that. I've been to New Orleans a couple of times for work, and this is many years ago. And then we would, like stay an extra few days to be there over the weekend. Stay in a guest house, they call them. Kind of like bed and breakfasts, but they call them guest houses in New Orleans. Oh, hey, good night, Sleep Stories. Thanks for being here, and I'll get on that marble video pretty soon and drop you a comment. I wonder if this... Other than making sure I've got like the full resolution coming out of this new webcam, I haven't actually messed with any of the other settings. I kind of like this depth of field effect, but I hope it looks good on the receiving end. Astral ASMR. Everybody say, oh, hello to Astral ASMR, and Kelly is with us. Hello, everybody. I wonder if alligator is good. It is. You have to be careful, not to get too tough a piece. I've had it in restaurants and I've cooked with it as well, and I hate to use the cliche, but it does taste a lot like chicken. That's just what King Cow said. Yeah, that is a cliche, but for alligator, it's actually true. Still do the trigger. Some artists get caught up. I appreciate that, Lucy, although I am absolutely guilty of letting the triggers go by the wayside as well. Do you love that you don't have to really worry about the stream crashing? Yes, it does put me at ease. The fixer side of me, I will confess, still really wants to know what is causing those crashes, but my current my current theory is that since it was multiple apps that did it, it must not be the apps. It's got to be a hardware thing. And I think I'm getting intermittent disconnects between the phone and the router, and the streaming apps don't like that very much. Of course, I am still using an iPhone 6s Plus because I don't like, getting new phones all the time. And so maybe the older phone is now causing some problems. I'm not sure. But yes, my wife's laptop and this new webcam are working out very nicely. So I appreciate the stability. It takes that off my plate. No, Fred, I'm not from the South. I'm more of a Midwest kind of a guy. And you're in the Northeast. That's very cool. It is too hot down here where Sal is. Of course, when you talk about heat and you talk about Sal, I gotta say that whenever I see your name on the screen, Sal, I think it says Sal Volcano instead of Vulcano. And so I have images of a volcano every time I think about you. And now you say it's too hot down here, and I would say, well, yeah, because you're in a volcano. So that makes sense. Yeah, it's definitely good to see all of you tonight. So, like I said, you will see this little container tomorrow in the Good Guy Greg from New Jersey. Thanks for joining us. See this in the Polished Stone video tomorrow. Let's see if I get it in front of the mic. Philadelphia, New Jersey. Yeah, I would definitely visit if you have the ability to travel at all. I'd say New Orleans is a good place to at least stop in and see what's up. A lot of culture and history down there. They've had their challenges since the hurricane and stuff like that, but the 2 times I was there was way, way before the... You ever do another Plastic Army Guy video? Well, not unless I can think of, something new to do with them. I'm not sure what else I would do with them. And I try to be sensitive to, repeating topics without bringing, without bringing something new or something unique to it. I don't want to repeat myself too much. Although that's, partially inevitable, I realize. Godzilla action figures and Slight Sounds. Oh, and David Craner. I was thinking about shutting this down at the top of the hour, and all these cool folks are showing up. Oh, thanks, Decaf Math. How you doing, David Craner? It's good to see you again. Saul got a Godzilla action figure that costs $175, and it's money well spent. I love everything about that. And of course, I hear about that and I think, are there also then collections of, all the other creatures from those, movies back then? Mothra and Gamera and Rodan. Yeah, who's got the Rodan action figure collection? That's what I want to know. Glad I'm still creating content. Well, I am too, David. I still having fun. Still have some things to to say and to tinker with, and I get to hang out with you guys, so it's all good. Oh, Sal, you have Rodan and Mothra figures. Dang it. That is wicked cool. I wish, one thing they need to, as I check to make sure they don't have this, they need to give you the ability to post pictures in a stream chat. Because I want to be able to look over here and see pictures of Sal's Rodan action figures right now. And I'm disappointed by our technological universe that I can't have that happen right this second. Yeah, you guys have been awesome tonight. Really, really fun, and I appreciate it. Yep. I think the root cause for most evils can be traced back to inflexibility in what I can post in a stream chat. Why should we be held down in that way? That's my question. Favorite childhood cartoon? Well, Looney Tunes was, way back when, one of the only collection of cartoons that was on Saturday mornings. This was before all the superhero-oriented cartoons and things. Hey, CSRT forever. Yeah, you never know who's lurking in these chats. Hey, Slight Sounds. This is, I talked about this at the top of the stream, but these are little plastic pellets, and they are used in rotary rock polishing machines. I shot a polished stone video this morning that's going up tomorrow, and I talked about what this stuff is just a little bit before I got along to the rocks. So, and just so happens, they make a nice little sound. These are actually from a rock polishing kit that I had when I was a kid in the early 70s, and I still have the box for the refill kit. Don't ask me why. I cannot possibly tell you, but and some of the rocks that I shot this morning are rocks that I ran through the polisher when I was a kid. And now they're mixed in with a bunch of other polished rocks that my kids have found on our various, trips to Kentucky and stuff like that. $35 in the chat. I'm not actually looking at the chat number at all, but if there was really 35, that's that's our biggest chat, biggest stream yet. So thanks, everybody. Yeah, Sal, I play bass, although you might have known that already from the bass video that I did. Let's find out. Is number 36? What is up? Oh man, I'm gonna have to go for a few more minutes because everybody's happening. Good to see you, Rich. What is going on? Grant Allen plays a little bit of guitar. Hello, Grant Allen. Bass guitar and harmonica. And I know we have a drummer in the chat as well, for sure. I think we've got a whole band here. Hi there, Grant. I'm not sure I remember your name before, so if you're new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. The Electric Triangle. You play MIDI triangle. You hit the triangle and like the sound of a toilet flushing comes out of it or something. Wow. Flying V Randy Rhoads custom. That's cool. Randy Rhoads, man. Oh, that pre-calculus. So we've got Let's Find Out, who is doing some pre-calculus tutoring. Then we've got Decaf Math in the room, who's all about the math majory type stuff. See you, Sal. Thanks for stopping in, man. Lucy, seriously, if you need some help in pre-calc, I think the gas lamp stream chat has got you covered. Floyd Rose Bridges, that's right. Yeah, there's Decaf Math. She's still here. Fender makes the best instruments. Yeah, you know, I mean, basic, high quality. Yeah, that's the thing about instruments are so very personal, right? I was thinking about this with respect to wristwatches the other day, but you know, it's just as true of guitars, and it's partly because we wear them. You know, we're in a lot of physical contact, so that makes the playing experience very, very subjective, and as such, you know, when we say best, you know, it's what's best for one player definitely may not be best for another. Gavin Dowling, show some love for the Rickenbackers. Rickenbackers are an interesting style, aren't they? Yeah, Rich, the bass I had in the video, which is the one I use mostly for my original band, is a 1987 Fender Precision bass. And then I have a 5-string made by Spectre that I play for certain other projects. Out of Body Pickles in the room, Fender Jazz bass. Are you asking if that was my bass? Pickle? Yeah, mine's the Precision. the first of the two. The jazz bass came later. Precision came out in 1951. 51. David Craner went vinyl shopping the other day, so that's a great way to start any sentence, so good on you. A German pressing of Peter Gabriel's third solo record, sung in German. Wait, what? He sang German versions of his songs? That's like really cool. Let's find out. Do you think you might ever post any of your live music? Well, I have gotten requests in the past to do a video where I actually play some bass, and that's on my list. I'd like to do that. In terms of actually, music recorded from the band, I just, I don't know. I would absolutely love to, but I'm not sure of a way I can do that, and not have it's that pesky anonymity thing. But believe me, I would love to figure out a way to share some of that with you, because it is I'm always very happy with it. Although, our momentum has slowed down quite a bit lately, I will say. It's still fun, but we gotta, the wind's out of our sails a little bit here recently. Well, we could do a jam over Skype, Rich. That wouldn't be a problem. Bandcamp of the Air Force. Gave him the cymbals. Well, hey, you still need to know when to play the cymbals and when not to play the cymbals. So you still got to know something. Jamming with Gas Lamp. Yeah, maybe we do a jam stream sometime. I know one of the Discords. I think it's the Dirty Nerdy Show's Discords. One of their audio channels is for musicians to jam together and stuff. Thanks, Slight Sounds. I'm being very absent-minded in the way I'm handling these beads, so I hope they're coming across okay. Cymbal placement is key, yes. And the cymbal placement I'm most accustomed to is right next to my head. I know that's not what you meant, but it is why I've worn, earplugs at basically all of my band rehearsals for the last 25 or 30 years, because I still want to be able to hear things. Nothing like a China cymbal ripping your head off. Slam in the lanterns. What was the name from, what was the nickname from last Friday or whatever it was? Was it Papa Lamp? Is that what you guys were saying? Fred, I'm currently running a Gensbenz Shuttle 6.0 head and two of their Neox 112 cabinets. I think it's so funny as I look at these beads. I think about, I was probably in my early teens when I got the rock tumbler refill kit that had these beads in them. Hey, Joe Divine, there's a new name. Welcome to the stream. Everybody say hi to Joe. I am not a professional musician, just a hobbyist. And Fred, I don't use any pedals anymore. I went through a phase when I was a young player when I used a whole crap load of pedals. Hey, Joe. But not anymore. But I'm looking at these beads, and it's hard. It's hard to imagine being an early teenager and getting these from the store to, in theory, help polish some rocks. And then fast forward decades later, and people all around the world are listening to me turn this container end over end. That's just very surreal, isn't it? Sorry. Yeah. No, everybody was guessing it was rock salt at the beginning of the stream. No, Joe, I play bass. I actually have a video on my channel that I made last year. A couple of videos, actually, that feature my main Fender Precision bass. Oh, you're a bass player, Joe? Cool, cool, cool. That's awesome. What do you play? Oh, what kind of a saxophone, Joe? I was alto back in middle school. Is that a men at work quote there, King Cow? Good old Colin Hay. You got it, David. Yeah, I've played a lot of Ibanez's in music stores over the years. I remember being very fond of their Sound Gear series. Have a good night, Rich. You have to tell me what Star Trek you're watching. Yep, the filler and the tea decaf. It's like cats and dogs sleeping together from Ghostbusters. Oh, good. I'm glad this is working. I've heard some artists say that, that sometimes they can trigger themselves, auto trigger, when doing this kind of stuff, but I've never been able to do that. And that's probably a good thing when I think about it. It seems like that might be very distracting. Take care, Fred. Thanks for all the chat and the good questions tonight. Cool. Okay, so next generation stuff. Very good. It's good to see you, Rich. Good job on your pieces of the collab. Hey guys, everybody in the chat, don't forget to check out our huge Atlas collaboration. Episode 5 just came out this week with Rich. Let's find out. ASMR. ASMRctica is on there. Tingles with Flyby is on there, and yours truly. Challenging each other once again to find places around the world in our atlases. So go to ASMRctica's channel to check out episode 5. How long have I had the beard? Well, I've had facial hair of some manner, most of my adult life, but I only started to kind of do this medium length kind of thing in the last, 3 years maybe. But that's why it's hard to answer the how long did it take to grow, because I've always had something there of various lengths. But if you figure about a ½ inch per month, which is a very typical average growth rate, can extrapolate it out from there. Although in my case it's a little complicated because my beard hair is very wavy. So a ½ inch of change in the hair length does not necessarily translate to a ½ inch of length off the face, right? because with all the S curls and things, it takes up a lot of the length just going back and forth and back and forth. So well, thanks, Joe. That's a cool way. I'm glad you found us. Glad you found us that way. Quite some time to become remotely okay, so she's not a fan. It's always a little harder when you don't have good support at home with the facial hair choices. I sympathize with that. I mean, it's fine to say, my face, want to wear it the way I want, but it's always nice when the people around, appreciate it as well. Always nicer when you can have that. Okay, guys. Definitely a 5-minute warning now. I gotta shut this down at the bottom of the hour, okay? But awesome to see you all tonight. Linen facial hair. Oh my. It's been super cool seeing you all tonight. Well, Joe, I usually on Tuesday nights, although I'm traveling out of state next week. Excuse me, I'm sorry. But also the most recent stream stays up as a public video on the channel for a week, and then after that you can find it in my ASMR radio playlist, and that playlist has all the streams I've done since the beginning of the channel, so you can always watch again. King, do I drink alcohol? Nope, I'm not an alcohol guy. King Cow. See you, Grant. Thanks for being here. So cool seeing such a lively bunch in the chat tonight. I love it when you guys engage with each other. Yeah, I promise to come back after the vacation. Hopefully I'll have a good Red River Gorge Arch video to edit when I get back, and be rejuvenated with some good ideas to tackle, some good new ideas. Vacation, David. We try to get down to the Red River Gorge area of Kentucky for the kids' fall break, and that's coming up next week. In fact, you can see some Red River Gorge footage in my junk drawer playlist that I shot last fall when we were down there. But I didn't have the gimbal at that time, so it's very shaky, and so I didn't use it for anything. But I did put it together, and I think I put a little voiceover on it. so you can see some of the trails and some of the arches in that video. Rocketeer. I don't think I have seen that movie. If I have, I don't remember. Well, I'm from the Midwest, Joe. Although you can do a little research on some of the sites, some of the locations, and some of my outdoors videos, and probably come up with a pretty good educated guess on the state. That'll be homework. All right. It's the bottom of the hour, everybody. So, thanks again. Thanks, everybody, for coming out tonight. It's been awesome. What a great Thelonious Mage state of joy it was. Yep. Good to see you, Thelonious. Glad you were here tonight. Yeah, like I said, we'll have the new video up tomorrow. It's a polished stone sorting video with lots of good close-ups. I am out. I'm out next week, and then I'll be back after that. I should still have some email and maybe Twitter access, but other than that, yeah, we're just wrapping up Thelonious. We've been on about an hour 45, but do check it out on the webpage or on the channel afterwards, okay? So thanks, everybody, and it's great seeing you all. Thanks for being here, and we will catch you all next time, okay? Good night, everybody. See you later.